Hello fellow modelers and styling fanatics, welcome back to my channel. I hope that everyone is doing fine and enjoys the hobby. Concrete Banker is once again back with another one of its notorious episodes. Today we are working on part 8 of our Stug 3 10.5 cm from Dragon in 1 to 35th scale in kit number 9058. Another day and another episode without the Stug being the protagonist, I'm going to say. On this episode, me and Past George are trying to scratch build for the first time a building of any kind out of a blue high density foam. As always, I jump on it without a plan, without having any idea of what exactly I have in mind, and I will tell you that I have bitten more than I can chew, but I will eventually see the end of the tunnel, and I will eventually create a building. So this building came out massive because, as I've said, no plan, and I have already, sorry, let me rephrase that. In my mind, I will create only the exterior because I don't want to put any more stress on me with the interior. So let's do for the first time the exterior, and then on another time we are talking about the interior of the building, of another building, not this one. So anyway, today I am working only on the surrounding walls, and when I say the surrounding walls, only on the walls, to be honest, and no, this structure has no roof for the time being. The roof is going to be a topic for another episode. So as I've said, today I am working only on the walls of the building, and you will see my progress step by step. You will try to get my train of thought if there is something like that on this video. So I don't want to bore you guys any further. You already know the drill. Grab the mandatory command, grab a seat as well, and let's see what me and Past George have in stock for this episode. Well, hello guys, welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to what it looks like part number 8 of our Stug 3B project. So what are we doing today? What's our plan? What's our program? So today we're gonna work on another element of our diorama, which is none other than the farmhouse. What you see in front of you, it is a totally crude mock-up. What I have done is only cut 4 pieces of foam, and I am going to try and build a building, if that made sense, out of it. In general, what my intentions are. My intentions are to, of course, do a farmhouse, a big one. To be honest with you, I don't know why. I'm just gonna start with a big one because I believe that a bigger farmhouse is gonna have more surface for me to work on, so I will gain more experience. I know that I can do it smaller, but that's my plan and I'm sticking with it, to be honest with you guys. So what I did, I measured the Stug, to be honest with you, and doubled its proportions. So Stug is almost 16 centimeters from end to front, not including the gun. So I created this wall double the size, not 16, okay, almost double the size. It is 30 centimeters. I gave it 10 centimeters height and this side is 15 centimeters deep. I just cut it for crude pieces of foam. I am going to sand them, so these edges over here will be flat, and they will sit flush with each other. And I am also going to try and make the pieces interlock. When I say interlock, I mean that I am going to try to do something like this. I'm gonna cut a section over here, so this will interlock with this one. At least that's what my intentions are. I know that this thing currently looks out of proportion, but believe me, I'm gonna trim this. As I've said, it is a crude mock-up, so I'm gonna trim every piece. So every piece is going to lose probably 1 or 2 centimeters from trimming, and this will also lose half a centimeter due to it being dipped into the terrain, sunken into the terrain. Now, onto the interior, I'm not planning to do anything because I have currently I have no intentions or anything to build furnitures and etc. Now, what my next course of action will be, of course, my next course of action will be to sand flush the edges so I can have a better fit, and after that, immediately after that, I am going to try and make each piece interlock with each other. This is my first time doing it, which means there is a great possibility that everything will go south, but I am okay with it. I am gonna proceed with my plan, and I am going to try and replicate a farmhouse as best as I can. This is mostly an experiment. This is going to be a practice piece, of course, and I am not expecting it to be perfect. Okay guys, hopefully I have a good camera angle right now and you can see everything. Update on the building. I have sanded every spot, every edge flat, as flat as possible, to be honest with you, and I have made the interlocking pieces, which are none other than those. So let me show you what I mean by interlocking. They are supposed to go like this. And now we have a kind of square building. Okay, it needs a little bit tweaking here and there, but we have a solid base, at least in my mind. Now, what we need to do, what's my next plan? I need to add doors and windows. So I have no exact measurements of farmhouses, the dimensions, so I opted to measure my doors, the doors that I have in my house. So doors in Greek houses are 2.5 meters in height and almost 90 centimeters in width. Not the main entrances, doors. My back door has that dimensions. Main entrances are a different thing. It's main entrances over here. It's a thing that the landowner, the house owner has made. So if he wants a double door or a door, a 1.5 door, it's different. So by my calculations, and let me grab some paper templates that I have made. This is my door, my back door in scale. This is, to be honest with you, 7.1 millimeters in height and 2.5 in width. So let me write it down. 7.1 and 2.5. Now, for the guys that follow my channel, for the old guys out there, they remember that I have made an old mini art vacuum form kit from back in the day, so I have these doors as well. So I measured this door, which is a double door, to see the difference. The difference is between that door and a door from in scale. That door is this one. I have made a paper template. This one is again 7.1 in height and if I remember correctly, 4 centimeters in width. Now, it's a matter of personal preference. It is also a matter if the farmer was a wealthy farmer, you know, if it was a rich farmer. So you can choose in between. Both dimensions are right. Now, what will help me choose or help you choose is a figure, a ready assembled one. So we have our friend here who is gonna help us. We can get him here with a more narrow door, you know, or we can get him here with a wider door. To be honest with you guys, I am leaning for the wider door, so probably I am going to opt for this one. I am gonna have another door in the back of the building, just for shits and giggles, and the other door is gonna be this one. So I am keeping both templates in hand. Another thing that I am doing is windows. Boom. I have made calculate paper templates of those ones as well. So height of the windows is 3.7 centimeters and width is 2.9 according to my windows, to the windows I have on my house currently. You know, as always, these dimensions vary from house to house. So I don't know how many windows I am going to apply on this house, but I am toying with the idea. You know, right now I am positioning them here and there just to see what works and what not, what doesn't work. So I am probably going to put a door over here and put two windows here and here. Now I will probably put a window on the side, but I haven't decided yet. So our farm, the front, the front look of our farmhouse is going to look something like that. I am not opting for something like that because this one reminds me of a child's drawing. It is very usual on a child's drawing, if you know what I mean. So we're gonna differentiate a bit and we're gonna do it like this. That's one of my thoughts. Or we can do it like this as well. That's a great thing when you create paper templates, because you can kinda see what do you want, or how the thing that you are making is going to look. Now, Another thing I wanted to point out. This one is a knowledge that Michael passed me. Thank you, Michael. None other than Lord Cohen. When I say Michael, of course, as always, you will find a link in the description below for his channel. Mike told me, which is a thing that I have never realized myself, that windows are the upper part of the window need to be lined up with the upper part of the door. You know, this one should be a straight line, so they should be like this. The windows are not supposed to go over here, you know, to be lower than the door, so they should be over here. And he also told me that the lower part of the window should be approximately in the middle of the door. That's some nice info that nobody shares, that I haven't heard from anybody else. So thanks again, Michael, for that. So that's what I am toying with now. Okay guys, quick update. I have what I have done off camera. I have marked where my windows need to be honest with you guys. So I created a little square with a pen, and right now I am removing some material from the foam. A little note over here: I have removed almost half the amount of foam. This is of course going to be blacked out since I will have no interior onto this building. So either I am going to remove it fully and put a piece of plastic card on the bark or a cardboard and paint it black, or I will dig it up a little bit more, sand it smooth and paint it black. I yet don't know. This that you are seeing right now, it's the front part of the building. This is the rear part of the building. As you can see, I have two windows in the front, one window in the back, and one door. The front door is bigger because that's what my mind told me to do, and the back door is smaller. Now, general rule over here in Greek houses is that almost every room has to have at least one window. So I opted for every corner of the house to have one window. So I will have one window on this side, but on this side I won't have any windows because I'm gonna create a small building, a small shack that is going to be used for wood, but this will come later. I am making this as I go. Now, I know that probably none of you asked for this, guys, but I am going to show you how I remove material from the foam, the way I do it, just for the guys that do stuff like me. So what do you need? You need, of course, a knife. I use this one because this one is my preferred knife for foam. It is sharp and it is working properly. And the other thing that I am going to use is this set of tweezers, which is used to remove facial hair from women. I use this because this one is a tweezer that I don't care if I bend or anything else. It is not a precision tweezer, but it is strong and it helps me pluck off stuff that need strength. So go grab it, either from your wife's beauty box or a shop. It will be handy. Now, what I do first, of course, I have already made, drawn the square. So, and what I am going to do is just to score it at the beginning. Just a little bit, just to give it an indentation. You will just need to score it. Don't go deep, guys, because you will do damage onto the foam, and that damage won't be, ideal for cutting precision squares. I don't know if this made sense, but believe me, if you do it, if you make a mistake, you will understand. And now that I have scored it, I will go deeper. I will dig deeper into the foam, just a little bit. We don't need to go all the way through yet. We don't plan to go all the way through yet. That's another thing that I want to point out is that's the way I am doing it. You don't need to do it the same way. I am doing it this way because that's what came first to my mind, and that's what I can do with the tools that I have in hand. So now that we have scored the square, the window frame, we will need to score small lines inside the window. Be wary that these lines will need to be close to each other. We need thin strips of foam. So I'm gonna continue exactly where we left off. As I've said, we need thin strips of foam, and once you cut it, you go into with your tweezer and you start removing stuff slowly, but make sure that you don't touch the edge of the square and everywhere else, because we need a flat surface, a flat flawless surface. So you go slow, remove the necessary material, the material that's necessary to remove, and you are going to end up with something like these. Anyway, there is no reason for you guys to watch me pluck out every single piece of excess foam from here. You get the point of how I did it. Now the next thing that I am probably going to do is to find a way to see which way will suit me to create a black box over here behind the windows. So guys, it's been probably 4 to 5 days since I've started building windows on this thing, and I can tell you that I have finished. So let me break down this structure to pieces and tell you what I have done. So this side will have no window, even though I have sketched one. I decided that I am gonna add a smaller structure here, a smaller shed probably, to accommodate the our farmer's cart. So this one was the easiest one. I just left it as it is. Second thing that I have gone through was my guinea pig, to be honest with you. That's why I have a small disaster here. So this one was my guinea pig, and you can see the small disaster is due to the super glue gas that the clear plastic that I have used has been foggy. So this one is the thing that I have started to making. This one was my first window, to be honest with you. I have started with windows because these were the most difficult parts to depict. I wanted to start on a generic place. So this one is my first window. It is quite crude, to be honest with you guys, and as I progressed through, I have found out a better way to depict them. So since this one is my first one, apart my issue, I won't talk about it at all. Likely it won't be, I will cover it up with something else. So what I am going to talk about is the two main walls, the back wall and the front wall. So over here what I have did, let me rearrange the camera. I hope you get a better look now. What I have done, so I digged up a little further onto the foam, and I have used plastic art as a backing, to make a solid foundation. I have painted the plastic art, of course, and all the surrounding area with black acrylic paint, so nothing would show through, because I have said this building will have no interior. And after that I started building. What I have used is coffee stirrers and these arts and craft sticks. So I have made a crude, surrounding for the door. Then I have made the door with coffee stirrers, and I have built it the things you see, and I have also made the frame. Michael and Rob are the guys that suggested to make a frame and add this plank onto the door that would make it more, realistic. So I have, after conversing with them, I have found it a good idea and progressed with that. And now, as you can see, construction was not so easy. You have to be, you have to be patient, and you have to be a little bit gentle. You have to measure, cut, measure again, cut again, and build the windows piece by piece. Another thing I want to point out is that behind the main window I have used another frame, so I could space it up a little bit more. I have glued that frame to the plastic card with CA glue. I left the CA glue to cure, so the gases won't be able to fog my clear parts, and then I have added the clear part. I have sandwiched the clear part in between the frame onto the frame that goes on the inner side with the frame that I created at the outer side. What I have used for clear plastic, you may ask? I have used, of course, clear plastic that comes from toys and some random packaging. I keep this stuff in hand because I find it useful. It is mostly rubbish to you guys, but I find uses for this stuff. It is a cheap material. It is a rubbish material that I can do whatever I want with it. I can create windows with it. So if you wanna go for cheap glass, this is your alternative. Now that I have finished with the doors, and the windows, of course. What is my next step, you may ask? To be honest with you guys, I am still thinking about it. Of course, this is going to be a building that has mud stucco on it, so I will need to create some texture. I will also need to be able to paint it, so what I am going to use for that texture, to be honest, what I am going to use for that texture, give me a moment and I'm gonna show you. I have this in my possession, which is acrylic putty for plaster walls over here in Greece. I have found it out that if you water this down, if you water this thing down enough, it can be and you apply it to a surface, it can add texture and protect the foam from primer rattle can sprays. So probably that's my plan. I'm gonna water this thing down and I am going to apply it in every surface so I can create this texture. Well guys, I have done a little bit more progress on our farmhouse. What I have done, as I've said before, I have applied the mud stucco texture with the help of this acrylic putty. This is, as I've said, an acrylic putty for dry walls. I have watered it down pretty enough to a watery consistency, as you can see. Well, right now it's not so watery because this thing is absorbing the water I have putting into it. So I have watered it down enough and I have stapled the surface of every wall. Apart that, I have glued the whole thing together. You can see it in its whole glory, quote unquote glory, right now. And from what I can see, I have enough footage to wrap up an episode. So with all that said and done, we have made it to the end of this episode, guys. On our next episode, we will going to continue our work on this farmhouse. What are we going to do, you may ask? We are going to fill the seam lines over here in all four corners, sand them smooth, and we are going to start our endeavors on recreating a thatched roof for this building. Well, I hope that I am going to recreate a thatched roof. We're gonna see how this goes. Anyway, I hope that you guys found this video helpful and interesting and stick along for the next one. Before I go, I wanna thank each and every one of you guys that watched these videos. A special thank you to all my subscribers. You guys are the best and you are the reason that I keep doing these videos. Now, for the newcomers out there that encounter one of my videos for the first time, welcome guys. I hope that you like what I do. If so, you all know what to do. Leave a like, comment with your thoughts and opinions, share the video if you believe that it deserves to be shared, or even consider subscribing for more builds to come your way. Until the next time, fellow modelers and friends, take care and model on. It was that Mofo Damon, signing out.